Hi guys, hope you're well today. Ghost Raven here. Please don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe, and we're going to jump straight into something a little bit different, something a little bit new. So today we're going to be jumping into Icarus. Icarus is a game that I've been playing for a couple of years now, but we are going to start as a new prospector. We're going to land on the planet, and we're going to see how to survive at least the first day, maybe even the first 2 days, and what sort of development points you need to do in order to be able to do that. So I'm quite excited to jump into a new series with you guys. So let's jump straight into the game. I'm going to start with the new character. So there's my original character. So we're going to create a new character, and the character name is obviously going to be Ghost Raven. And then if we have a look at, we definitely want it to be masculine. You can go for female, but I want it to be more masculine. And I think maybe we should go for some unique colors, something like that. We can change the voice. So either a male or female voice, and then this is the head. So I want to just look for something a little bit more Western style. So maybe something, maybe something like that. And are we going to have any scars? No, probably not. We're going to have facial hair. I think we are. And tattoos. So we're going to have something that's going to look like that, like we almost going into combat. So combat stripes. Cool. Confirm character. Okay, so we're going to be presented with the new game. So before we jump into that, I want to just explain a couple of things to you. So when you initially start the game, you have absolutely nothing. You don't even have a decent spacesuit. You have to collect oxygen. You have to collect food. You have to collect water, and those elements are constantly, you're at odds with those elements because you have to survive. So when you complete certain missions in the game, what happens is you get given certain currencies. So you can see at the bottom of my screen here, I've got different currencies. So these are the new expansion packs, which I don't have access to because I haven't bought them yet. But this is the original currency, and then this is the exotics currency. So the difference between the two is you'll get this from completing missions, and you can only find exotics on planet. And what exotics are is they terraform the planet, and with the terraforming went wrong at the very late stages of terraforming. And what happened is the exotics were the reason why the terraforming went bad. So all the creatures that they have became more aggressive, became more aware. So you've got to be very careful about the creatures in this world, as well as worrying about your health and your oxygen and all these types of things. So we're going to start a new game. We are going to start an open world. This initially wasn't available, so you had missions, and what you had to do is you had to drop down on a planet and complete a particular mission. And you can see that this mission has like 25 red. So you can see that all the ones with the ticks we have completed, because I have played through this game. I have spent quite a lot of time playing this game, so we have progressed quite far through the game. But there has been new quests that have been added, which we haven't done, which what I'd like to kind of get to on this playthrough. So yeah, so these are the two expansions. So this is the original game, and Stinks is a much harder map. You can see by the level of skulls here that this is easier than this one. Then obviously it depends on, because it's a massive map. And when you drop down on the map, let's just go to the open world so I can show you. Okay, so let's just create a world. We're going to call it Ghosts World. Okay, we're going to leave it on normal difficulty, and that's perfect. So let's claim this prospect. Okay, so when you complete your missions and quests on the planet side, you get the certain different types of currencies, and with those currencies you can buy items from the space station. So when you drop in from the space station down to the planet, you can carry a certain amount of items with you. So you can see this is your dropship cargo space. This is where your enviro suit goes. So we have a few different types of enviro suits. The better one that I've got is this one, which is the physical resistance. It gives us 2 module slots, gives us an oxygen slot, a water slot, and -5 perceived threat while stealthed. So we're going to drop that enviro suit in. And then this just helps you basically get going on the planet a lot easier. So instead of having to craft a knife and an axe and all these types of things, or even your armor, you can drop on the planet with those particular things. So it makes you starting off, once you've got a bit more experience, you've gone through the game a few times, gives it a lot easier for you to be able to jump in and get going. So there's another thing that I want to do. So I'm going to, instead of being a completely noob, so we're not going to go with any sort of axes or anything like that, so any sort of equipment. But what we are going to do is we're going to go with a survival backpack. And the survival backpack, what that does is it gives us movement speed. It gives us inventory, 6 inventory slots, 25 falling resistance, which is not really that applicable to us, and 50% chance to avoid sprain when taking full damage, and minus sprain duration. So mostly for survival, but the reason why we are doing this is because it's got the movement speed, and maybe that's not the right backpack we need to use. The Gatherer's backpack is 6 inventory slots, so carry wood of ores and of wood is reduced. So that's the backpack we want to use, the Gatherer's backpack. Okay, so, and then you can take 2 modules. So this spacesuit has 2 module slots available, and these are some of the modules that I've got. So you can have, increases movement speed, so I'm definitely going to use one of those. So when we get into the game, we're going to have immediately 10% movement speed, as we're going to have a little bit of an advantage. And if you stack it, the second one's, see, it says using duplicate models reduces their effect for every subsequent model. So it'll give us a little bit more movement speed, but not as much as just having one. And I think that's pretty much it. We're not going to jump down with any sort of equipment because I'm just going to teach you how to survive that. But it's going to give us a little bit of advantage because we're going to be able to carry a lot more, and we're going to be able to run a lot faster. So let's jump straight into the game. I'm going to confirm the loadout, and now you can choose where you want to land. So each different drop spot, so there's different biomes. So you've got your forest biome, you've got your riverlands biome, you've got your desert biome, and there's actually another frost biome or cold biome on this side, or Arctic biome. It's a little bit of a smaller one. So the map is quite large. So we're going to try and drop into sort of an easy sort of area. So instead of in the riverlands, because this is going to be a lot more advanced, you're going to have a lot more higher level animals. You're going to have bears and everything straight off the bat, where here you're not necessarily going to have that. And you're going to have water, which is quite in short supply in the desert. And you have to have the equipment to be able to survive the cold, to even be able to go into the cold environment. So dropping into this environment without like a suit or a suit of armor that you've already pre-purchased and you drop into the planet with, it's quite difficult to start from there. So we're just going to start. So if you're a brand new player, you're going to drop in on this point over here. So I'm just going to make it a private game, and I'm going to drop into the game. So let's just let it load. Okay, so the premise of the story is that the planet was terraformed. The terraforming went bad at the very late stages of terraforming, and the resources that caused the terraforming to go bad is what you basically here on the planet to collect. So you are going to get missions. We're going to go around and have to find certain animals and kill certain animals, or go and protect certain spots, or go and scan certain areas. So you do get basic missions, but initially when you start the game, the first and most important thing is obviously getting the basics up and running, so basic surviving. So here you can see in our mirror, we have just landed on the ground, and our capsule has opened up.
First things first, if you want to complete missions for the UDA.
Okay, so there's already showers. So because we're bringing in these items, I'm going to grab them. I'm going to say, cool, take those and put them into our backpack. So backpack we can add. Okay, and then the auxiliary different parts are here. Okay, so everything you do in this game, so this is basically the character's brand spanking new, but everything you do in this game, when you collect anything, you gain a little bit of XP, and you can see that my XP is already starting to climb. It's not very high, it's only 85, but as I collect more items. So I'm going to be collecting a little bit of fiber in the beginning, a little bit of trees. It's a bit crazy that we've actually got a storm coming straight in. Storm doesn't normally happen so early on in the game, so you do get storm exposure, and some of the storms in this game are incredibly violent. So there'll be lightning, so if you have a wooden house, your wooden house has the opportunity to burn down. So I just collected wild berries there. Wild berries are super important. They give you a little bit of buff, so all the foods in this game give you a limited buff, so it's important to collect those foods. And then with a little bit of oxygen, the oxide that I picked up off the floor, which is the blue items off the floor, like this item over here, this you can put into my oxygen slot of my suit, and what he's going to do is he's going to use this and convert this into oxygen to keep us alive. Okay, so the next most important thing is obviously food and water, so we're going to think about those two things. So we're just going to collect a few of these bricks, a few of these rocks and sticks and things, and a little bit of fiber, and we are gaining experience as we do all of this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to push tab, and I'm going to go to crafting, and I can see I can make a few items. So the first item I'm going to make is a stone pickaxe. Okay, and a stone axe. Okay, so the pickaxe now allows us to be able to go into nodes or to farm or mine wood or stone. Sorry, not wood, stone. So you can see I'm mining. So I've got 30 stone, and I'm just going to collect some fibers. So just at the beginning of the game, just collect everything you basically see. You can always destroy stuff if your backpack gets full. We do have a little bit of advantage because we do have our cool backpack, so we are going to have a little bit of additional space, and we're going to be able to carry additional heavy loads. So you can see we've got additional 6 slots here, which is exactly what you want when you're coming into a game where space is limited and how much you can carry is limited as well. Okay, and then with the axe you can chop down the trees. So we start the idea of the tree is the direction that you're chopping in, especially, it's going to fall in that direction, and you do take tree damage in this game. So make sure that you chop it in the direction away from you, so when it does fall down, and then don't obviously run in front of it or get hit by it. And what I'm doing is I'm actually chopping the stump, and that allows me to get a little bit of the wood. There's quite a lot. I mean, I've got 55 wood there already, so I'm just going to collect a little bit more. Can't really produce anything at the moment, so this is just a good way of collecting XP. We do have storm exposure. You can see in the top right the current status of the storm. So it is still raining. This is a problem. He's going to attack us. These animals are super aggressive, so you've got to be super careful. I don't know how much damage he's going to take. Okay, so we managed to kill that animal, but we've got no way of being able to... Maybe we can make a knife. Let's have a look. We can't even make a knife yet. So we just have unlocked level 1. But what we do want to do is get away. So we aren't able to farm this resource or this animal because we don't have a knife at the moment. We will be able to get one fairly shortly because we do have a talent point in order to be able to do that. But what this will do is it will attract predators. So if there are any predators like that wolf, which we don't want to fight, you can see he's going to come in and he's going to go and eat that body. So if you push M, you can go and look at the map, and you can see we actually dropped quite far between two different water sources. So our water is starting to go down slowly but surely, so I want to start making my way towards one of those water sources. And I'm just going to pick up some resources along the way. Oh, we've got another one now. This is crazy. Those horses really do not like us. Okay, so we are making our way down to the water. There's a wolf, so we don't want the wolf to see us. Until we're able to defend ourselves properly, like, no point in taking on a wolf. Okay, I'm going to research some things now. I'm sprinting with holding down shift. Just having it will run out at some point. Okay, so you can drink water. The problem with drinking this water, it is unfiltered, so you are going to get a debuff. And what that debuff does at the moment, it is tainted, so 50% cause dysentery, which is not great. We're just going to keep collecting. Okay, so now we can definitely assign our first points. We just want to stand somewhere where we're not going to get attacked. So let's just have a look around. We don't really see anything. There is another one of those horses. I heard him. I think there he is over there. Okay, so he's not coming in this direction, so this is good. Let's go to our tech tree and let's go and sort out what we need first. So we definitely want a bow, and we want the arrow, and we want the knife. And is there anything else immediately that we need? Possibly a bandage, because we have taken damage already. Okay, so let's craft the bow. I'm just going to move these items up a little bit. So our bow will be in our first spot. So I'm going to craft a knife. Okay, so we have absolutely no arrows, and we did have to research that, so we don't want as many as that. So let's just do 20 for now. Okay, I'm just going to drop that down here. Just eat a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so we are near the water. We've got to decide where we're going to build our first base when we have the ability to build a base. But for now, we're just going to collect resources. We do have the ability to defend ourselves as well. Now that we have a bow, we're not going to be very good, but at least it's a start. And we've got a knife for close quarter combat as well. Okay, so I'm just looking for some berry trees as well at the moment. And just collecting some of these blue rocks, which is your oxide. Just make sure your stamina doesn't drop down too fast that you can't defend yourself if you do get attacked by something. So these yeasts are very good because initially you can research in the tech tree, you can research the ability to be able to make those antibiotic pastes. So when you move into caves initially, there's a chance that you can get pneumonia, and what this will do is this will reduce the time of that you catch pneumonia and how long you have it for, and it also gives you health regeneration as well. So when you are taking damage and you do have that, I can show you at a later stage. But this is our main water source here, so this is I think initially where we're going to start. And there is always a deep mining. There's a rabbit over here, so there's our first bit of meal. Got to start small. Okay, so now we've got our first bit of meat. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I want to farm this so that we can have quite a lot of oxygen. Your oxygen will go down quite quickly, especially in the beginning of the game, especially in your hunger and your thirst. But you can assign skill points. I'm going to make sure that there's nothing around that's going to attack us, especially when we are unaware. Okay, so we're going to put that oxide into our backpack, into our spacesuit. We're going to be able to feed, and we do want to be able to make a fireplace, but I don't think I researched it. So the next research level points, we're going to definitely do a campfire, and we're probably going to do something similar as well. Okay, and then from the combat point of view, so you have your four main tabs here. So you've got survival, you've got adventure, you've got habitat, you've got combat. So initially what I want to do is I want to just increase movement speed, so we're going to run faster when we're holding a bow. The bow is going to be our primary weapon, so when we are running around, we are going to be running around a little bit faster. That just increases our speed of getting around and also maneuvering around enemies if we do get attacked. Okay, so that's just me collecting some more, and I'm just going to drink some of that water. Okay, so we need to find a few animals or something. We can start hunting, and there's generally a few animals by the waterfall, as you can see. Okay, so that's quite a good arrow shot from that distance, especially also because we've just basically started playing, so we have got no skill or anything with a bow. Okay, and now I'm using the knife, and what that does is that gives us additional bone, and the bone is used for quite a lot of things. So at a later stage we'll be able to make bone arrows, and we'll be able to make bone armor when we research it, but for now we're just going to stick with what we got. It's a good way to get XP. Okay, you can see the knife is broken. The quickest and easy way is I just push tab to go into my menu, I right click on the item, and I repair it. As long as you've got stone, it's made out of stone, it will repair. It hasn't got very high durability because it is a stone knife, so generally the rule of thumb is I try and repair it every single time I use it. Now that seems a little bit excessive, but at least we keep it to make sure that it's always in top shape. So if you do get into combat with a wolf or something, close combat, and we are using the knife's not going to break in the middle of the fight. So it's pretty terrible to happen, and it's quite an easy way for you to die. Okay, so there's quite a lot of... You can see all of this. This is oxide. This is silicone. And silicone we can use for much more sort of or advanced items. And it's also needed for concrete production. So that's what the silicone is for. And then you do have salt, so you can make your food last longer by preserving it with salt. There's more silicone, there's oxide, and there's a yellow one as well, and the yellow one is sulfur. And then what that's used for lighting, for torches, for gunpowder, for a couple of things. So that's quite an important resource as well. And the thing about these resources, they are finite. So the trees and these nodes don't come back once you farm them. There is ways in the future, like sort of late level game, where you can make something called the thumper or something like that. And if you defend it and you activate it, what it does is for about 3 minutes, it thumps the ground. But what it's doing is it's attracting animals at the same time. So you've got to be very careful and strategic about how you do it. It's just a baby little walking around over there. Oh, there's the mommy over there. You see, we haven't got the ability to... So let's try. Headshot. In the eye. Immediately takes them down with one shot. It was absolutely amazing. And with that, we have leveled up to level 2. It just makes our survival a little bit more likely. Okay, so I'm going to skin him, and I'm going to get all the meat from him. Okay, and we are collecting pumpkins. We've got no need to collect them at the moment. Okay. So I think from level 5 you can actually start producing and making a little shelter. You see as I'm running around I'm just collecting. I really want to find another wolf because good talent points. So we're going to make a fire. And let's see what else we can do, which is quite important. So we can make a torch if we need to. And we can make bone armor, so we can start making and protecting ourselves. That's probably not a bad idea. Okay, so there's no point in having a bedroll until we can have a shelter. Although, you can, so it's more important to have the bedroll. So I'm going to do a bedroll. I just heard something walking here. Oh my word, so we missed 3 shots. Little baby deer. Just waiting for us. Say, hey, come. You can see our hunger bars going down. So we want to definitely fix that. Okay, so pretty much out on this rock over here. I'm going to go to crafting. I'm going to make the fireplace. Okay, obviously you need wood. So I'm going to drop some wood in there and I'm going to start cooking some stuff. Okay, we don't have nearly enough of anything. That's a good start. Why activate? There you go. I'm going to start cooking. I heard another buck or something. Just got to watch off in the distance and see. Anything moving in the distance, you know it's probably an animal. Okay, do we have our first bit of cooked food yet? Not yet. Just going to take that off so I can start producing the other one. And consume our first bit of meat. And now we have our second food buff. What the meat does is giving us 75% health and 20% health generation. So survivability goes up. Okay, and we're going to wait for the other one to cook as well. And then we'll have 3 different types of food and 3 different buffs going on at the same time. I keep hearing him, but I don't know where he is. I hear a buck. He's like super far away. Lucky shot. As long as you skin them and you take their meat, then they will no longer attract predators. Just going to wait for our stamina to increase. Let's just have a look at our oxygen situation. We're doing fine. Got a little bit more meat from that. Okay, so now we can craft some health. Good to have a bandage or two. Okay, that'll leave us with 5. Okay, there's flowers, there's some more berries there. We really just want to farm some animals. It's the quickest way to get XP. Let's go finding some of them. Okay, it's also producing charcoal, which is a byproduct, which we also need. So I'm going to allow it to do both of that. Okay, I'm sure did I not choose the armor? I don't think I did. So a wall torch, probably more important than armor. Especially if it gets dark and we're not able to see and light our way. Okay, we've got additional 2 points. So I'm going to increase damage with bows. Increase damage with bows. Probably should spend a little bit of... there is ways of being able to increase your base health, increase your stamina, increase your movement speed. But I'm more worried about being able to kill the animals first. And because we are playing solo, we do have access to the solo talent points. So we can increase our base stamina, we can increase our health, we can increase our movement speed, and we can increase our melee damage. So I think for the moment, we are probably going to go with stamina. The further you can run, it's just better for you all around to have a much higher stamina pool. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to cook, we don't have to stand here and wait. I can show you guys, wait, there's one of those horses. Super good XP, so we're not going to pass up the opportunity. I'll be able to take one of these guys on and take them out. Okay, cool. Alright, let's just repair it. I thought I heard a wolf there, but it wasn't. I'm going to repair my bow as well. We should be able to make one of those torches, so I'm just going to make one now. And there's an L on our hotbar here, so it's now the torch has been added there, and if I push L, it'll light up the area around me, because the shadows and the darkness happens very quickly, and the darkness is very dark, so you can't see very much. You don't want to be stuck out in the jungle when it is dark. But I could actually show you guys where the first cave is. So an easy way to... Oh, he's seen us, it's too late. Easy way to see more or less where caves are going to be. So at a later stage you can make something called the cave scanner, and it'll tell you exactly where the cave entrance is. And I know from playing in past games, I know exactly where some of the, at least in this immediate area, I know where some of the caves are. But I want to show you on how to be able to identify the caves, or where the caves are going to be. So if you have along this wall here, so this is a good indication there's possibly a cave here. So what you want to do is you want to make your way to this wall. So let's just run up this way. Okay, so now we're up to this main mountain here. So we're too far along, so we're going to keep running along this wall line. And what's good about running along the wall lines as well is you're staying out of the main forest. So if there are predators, or if there is anything that's going to hurt you in there, you're staying on the outskirts. So because they're going to be walking in the middle. Okay, so this is the rock face that we were looking for. So now we're looking for a cave entrance. So how do you know where a cave is, right? Well, there you go. That's an easy one. So there's a hole already there, and there's our first cave. Now the problem with caves is that there's a possibility that there are something called cave worms. So when you get into the cave, it's obviously very dark. I'm going to use the torch that we just made, and I'm going to try and shoot and kill this cave worm before he kills us. Okay, so I've just lost 2 arrows there. It's probably going to be another one. There's another 2. Okay, so now we are poisoned. We literally got 2 arrows left after that. We've taken quite a lot of damage. There is water here, so I'm just going to drink the water from there for now. Get some of our arrows back. Okay, so this is our first introduction to mining. So this is our first cave. So you can see that there's a whole bunch of nodes in here. This is copper, this is iron, and then you get some exotic minerals as well. So you'll be able to get platinum sometimes. You'll be able to get not silicone, but you get titanium. And you'll get these grey ones are charcoal or coal. So you can get coal directly out of the mines. So we're not going to be farming any of this now because we don't need it. We don't have any space to put. But you saw how difficult it was. I mean, I went into the cave. There were more than 5 worms in there. Please don't see us, guy. I didn't want to take the chance. And I hear a wolf from the distance as well. Okay, let's just not get the light out to attract them. Just going to repair this and make sure we are ready. Because in order to make the bedroll, we can actually make one, but you need fur. Let's try and see if we can find this wolf. It's just rocks. There he is right here. Really nice. You see, so really good XP. And just in case there's more than one, I want to get rid of the body as quickly as possible. Also, those horses will attack us. They're aggressive. I don't know why they don't like us, but they really don't like us. Okay, so you don't want to stray from water too far. I'll just show you there was another source of water inside the cave, so you can survive that point as well. And you're just going to make sure that your oxygen, initially at the beginning of the game, your oxygen, your water, and everything is good. Okay, so we just have gone up at another talent point as well. One more talent point, and we are going to be able to build our first shelter. Yeah, there's a deep mining here, so it's aluminium. Okay. Alright, so we have all of our pumpkins. We have so much food here actually. Okay, so that is literally just our raw food. So we just consume stack. Hopefully that will get rid of the most of it. Okay, and I think we're going to make just a few more bandages. Because everything you do gives you XP in this game, so... Okay, cool. So, what is next on our list of importance? So, probably a crate, but let's just see if we can make wooden structures. So, there's our wooden building set. Could have probably done it a little bit earlier, but that's just to get us going. Okay, so then we'll have a fireplace, we'll have a bedroll, and let's see if there's anything else we need straight off. That's super important in the early stages of the game. Antibiotic paste, no, not really. maybe our bone armor. So let's do that, so we can just protect ourselves. Okay, and I'm going to keep the other points for now. We don't really need anything at the moment. We might need a fire whack at a later stage. So what this does is when you've got a wooden structure and the heavy storms come in. So the heavy storms can be really, really, really hectic in this game. We've experienced one or two so far, but nothing like we're going to see. And if you have a wooden structure and lightning happens to strike your wooden structure will go up in smoke. It'll literally burn down all your resources. Everything you've collected will be gone. So, okay, so I'm just increasing our talent points as well. So I'm going to increase our arrow damage again. And do we have a solo point? No, we don't. Now, Tech 2, you've got 2 points available. So, probably a hammer, which is going to help us repair items once we start making items. And water purifier, so we can start getting water. Okay, cool. So let's start with the basics. So we are going to need a little bit of charcoal for the water purifier. So we should have enough materials to be able to make one. So there is basic rainwater fire and a water one. So I'm just going to make basic water one. Okay, and that uses charcoal to filter the water. So I'm going to grab all the charcoal that we have available. We've thankfully got from the fireplace. Okay, let's just consume stack. I just want to try and get rid of what we have left there. Perfect. Okay, another item. So we've got lots of food cooking. We're happy. We're not hungry. We're not thirsty. We're not worried about oxygen levels. So we're doing fine for the moment. Okay, so we've got to find a good place in the water to be able to put something like this. So I know I'm going to be building my base out this way. So it looks like it's going to have to be a little bit deeper. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to access it. I'm going to drop in the fuel, and immediately it's going to start producing purified water. So if I drink water from the river, you saw that we got dysentery or something like that the last time. So when you have filtered water, there's no chance of that happening. So definitely much better to drink water directly from here. And you can see as I drink, it's filling up, and our water is very, very happy at the moment. Okay, so before it gets nighttime, we want to start getting into our first structure. So we are going to need to chop some wood. We just want to make sure that there is no predators or anything around that's going to cause us to have any problems. So the time is definitely going down. It's now just gone 5 o'clock, which means it's going to get dark pretty soon. We don't really have anything built or anything ready to go. So I'm just going to chop some wood down, just that we have a little bit with us. I'm just going to start with the very basic structure just to begin with. Also, if it gets taken up by lightning, then we're not going to be too devastated when it does go down. And everything we're doing is gaining us XP. So here we are gaining more XP, which is exactly what we want. You can see the yield as the tree moves further down, it gets less and less and less. Okay, but that's initially the start. So let's start with crafting. So in order to get a basic structure, we're going to need floors, we're going to need walls, and we're going to need a roof. Possibly even going to need a door. But the most important thing is these wooden beams to get started. So I'm going to make 10 of those. Just going to move my backpack around, and I'm going to start putting these things in here. Also do want to make a hammer. So the hammer will go into our 5 slot. I do want to make 6 if we can make it. Normal wooden floors. Okay, and that should be the majority of our wood that's going to be used up. Do have quite a lot of fiber. You can see we're using fiber and wood at the same time. It's working well, and we are going to probably need more than 10 of these things anyway, so I'm going to move that into the next slot. Okay, we're going to have 6, we're going to need 10 walls, right? So we're going to need a lot more wood. You don't have to chop the stump out. Most people don't even know that you can do that. This is a very good source of wood. It gives you a lot of wood for... It's basically the thickest part of wood of the whole tree. So I just thought I heard a predator or a wolf or something in the background. Got to be super careful, especially early game. You don't want to get caught out, and you don't want to get... Even the last little bit. It's crazy. Okay, I'm going to make 10 more of these. And I should have enough wood to be able to make the 10 wall pieces. Okay, so how you start is you put down your first block. So it has to go all the way down under the water. Once you have your first block in, you can see more or less where you're going to be going. So are we going to go up higher? I think that's okay. Okay, and you obviously need to be able to support that structure. And the deeper you go, you might have to add more. You can see we are running out of bars pretty quickly. So we need at least 4 more left. We definitely don't have enough wood. Okay, so let's go and chop some more. It's already hopper 6, so the lights is definitely starting to fail. It's going to start getting dark really quickly. But in order to sleep through the night, you need a shelter, which is what we're busy crafting. You need a fireplace and you need a bedroll. So as long as we have those 3 things, we should be fine. Okay, so let's just make the bedroll. There's our walls. Okay, and then the roof we're going to need 7 of those. So we're going to need a bit more wood. Okay, so in order to even be able to get up there, we're going to have to make stairs. So let me just make these. Okay, there's a large deer right here. He doesn't even see us. See, it's getting late. A little bit of extra meat for us. A little bit of XP as well. It's awesome. Thank you for coming down to the water to drink. Like a crocodile waiting at the edge of the water. Okay, so I'm going to choose the thing. I'm going to use the R key, which then changes. I'm going to just push R key once and then it changes the direction. I'm going to change it to stairs. So I'm going to hold down the R key and now we're able to jump up here. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a height advantage. We need to go and get a fireplace. So let's go do that. You can just pick it up by holding down X. There was something in there as well, so the charcoal was still in there. Okay, we're all going to need additional support on that side. But I just want to get the door in. So you can see the directions of the arrows facing in, so you want to push R so that the arrow is facing outside. And if I hold down R, what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to put a door frame in. So you have a whole selection of different things. And then I don't want the creatures to be able to see us when we are inside our shelter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it off completely. And then with the roofs, I'm going to push R again, and I'm going to choose just a roof ramp. And I'm going to choose 6 like this. So now we definitely have a shelter over our heads. Okay, we need a door. So let's just drop a door in. We are going to need to put the fireplace in the corner and not too close to the walls because it is a fire, and it is wood, so it'll just burn the whole place down. So I'm going to just use half of it, split the stack by holding down shift and putting half of it in there and just cooking up a little bit of meat that we have. Okay, and let's get our bedroll down as well. So I'm going to put it next to the fire. Okay, and we should have a door. So we'll be able to drop the door in. Alright, cool. And obviously, you can... So if you have a fireplace and you have a roof over your head, you can sleep throughout the night. So you can see it's starting to get really dark. So before it gets too dark, I just want to show you how dark it actually gets. It's a little bit crazy. And we do need a little bit more support. So we needed 4 more of those. Okay, and then we could probably just put the additional I just drank a little bit of water there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rest of the charcoal in there for us. So we have a constant supply of water. And the only other thing I'm a little bit worried about is that we might not have enough oxygen to get us through the night, so we might just have to sleep through and then just go and farm some whatever that's, what is this called? Oxide. Okay, so there you go. So basically we have our first shelter. Can't see very much, so I'm going to use my torch. I'm going to close the door so that no animals can see us. We are a little bit away from, you know, the ground, so that wolves and stuff will probably walk along here, walk down here. As long as they can't see us, they're not going to attack us, which is exactly what you want. And that is basically how you get and to survive the very first day of Icarus. So we're going to sleep through the night. I'm going to hold down F to set the spawn point. So if we do die, we're going to be respawned back at this point. We'd have lost everything that you were carrying on you, so including all your weapons and everything. So it's important to set your spawn point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sleep. And just like that, we have passed, and it is 7 o'clock in the morning. There's something running right up at the top. We do need this for a little bit more, and we can turn that off. But let's just have a look. He's moving pretty quickly. And see, our arrow doesn't go nearly as far and as fast as we would like. So that was terrible. Okay, guys, so there's the basics of surviving the first day of Icarus. I hope you found the episode interesting. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and give the video a like, and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, and I will definitely catch you on the next one. I hope you have a good day. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.